Hello and welcome to MayfairPrestige's YouTube channel. We've done a few videos previous to this one which have been all about the cars, but in today's video I thought we'd do something different and talk about the business, because I know a lot of you guys look from the outside looking in and see how glamorous the business is, and obviously we get to play with a lot of nice cars, which is great, but there are other aspects of the business which can make it quite stressful. You know, it's not as a bed of roses that everybody thinks. So I thought in today's video we'll talk a little bit about the industry and the car industry. And I've been working at Mayfair Prestige, lucky enough, now for about 6 years. I've been working very closely with my managing director in all decisions that are made on what we buy and prices we sell at, etc. And you know, this business, I know I get a lot of people coming in that do want to get into this industry, and unfortunately sometimes they come in with their CVs but they've had no experience, one in selling and two in cars, and to start in this end of the industry is always very tough. And I always tell those guys to get out, maybe get a job somewhere, learn about selling, learn about cars. You know, you need to really have a passion for this. It's not just the sole reason why we do what we do in this industry is the passion, but you need to have an understanding of what people are looking for, the cars people need. You really need to have a depth of knowledge about the manufacturers that you're involved with as well. So, you know, it's a good thing for people to do is to really study about what they like about, not just I like that car and that's it, I want to sell cars. You know, really study about cars and learn about the history of the brands and the new models, the old models, the engine sizes, as much information as you can. You know, unfortunately, I feel myself, I'm a bit of a car geek in many ways, and I live, I breathe, I eat cars, and I'm always looking to find out as much information as I can, and I really love what I do. But there are some stressful parts of this job, you know, which people don't unfortunately take into consideration. Sometimes buying an expensive car is great. You know, if I'm buying an expensive car for the reason that I want to obviously own the car myself, drive it and enjoy it, I'm buying from a completely different emotional reason than if I'm buying it from a business point of view. And sometimes, you know, when a deal gets offered to me and it's an expensive car, let's say the price is $300,000 for the car, you know, when I've got to approach my managing director and ask him to make a payment of such a large amount for this car, and he asks me, well, how much is the car worth? And I give him the figure of what I think the retail value is worth, and obviously, fingers crossed, there's profit in the car. You know, it can be a lot of stress to pull the trigger on such a large payment, knowing that I've then got to sell that car, make that profit, turn back round to him and say, you see, I told you it was a good deal. Because, you know, not every car makes money. I don't think there's a car dealer out there that's always said that they've made a profit or an unbelievable profit on every car they've sold. You know, there has been times where we've sold cars at a loss. Maybe we've had the car too long, maybe we paid too much for it, maybe the market shifted on us on the car in the time that we owned it. And I'm sure the experience of other dealers out there is the same. So don't always think that because we're selling such high value items that, you know, our profit margins are absolutely massive. You know, I sometimes sit with my friends and they'll say to me, oh, Dan, how's business? What's going on? I'll say, you know, I sold a car that was 350,000, let's say. And they're like, oh my God, you must have made 100 grand. I wish we make 100 grand on a car. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, and you'd be surprised where the margins are in this marketplace. They're not as big as I think the general public maybe understand. You know that, you know, we do work to tight margins. We do have a lot of stock. We do have a lot of money invested, and that's another thing I wanted to come on to is we're a company that there are a lot of companies like us. Don't get me wrong, but not that many, but quite a few that actually use their own money to buy their own stock. And a lot of companies out there, unfortunately, set themselves up into this marketplace where they're what's called a sale or return company or an SOR company, which is great, but they haven't got the same investment as we do, because I think that's one thing I think that's making an error in the car market at the moment, is because when you're giving your car to an SOR company, that company's just making a fee for selling the car. They're not really that bothered about how high the asking price is. Maybe it's above the market value because they haven't got their own money invested in the car. And I think they don't mind if it sits on the market for a long time or doesn't get sold or doesn't get calls. But the problem I think sometimes lies in that those cars then appear on the market at an overinflated price, then somebody may be thinking of selling a similar car to a dealer like myself, will go onto the marketplace, have a look to see what's out there, see these cars advertised at high prices, and then when I make an offer on the car, which I think is sensible, they're like, oh my God, there's other cars much, much higher. But those cars, unfortunately, are overinflated in the market because the SOR companies out there, look, they want to earn their fees, don't get me wrong, but they also don't mind how much the car's up at, because had they actually bought the car themselves with their own money, they would try and get in and out the car much, much quicker, because they don't want a situation where they've got their money tied up for months and months and months on end. You know, they want to return the money, rework the money and buy new stock. So, you know, there are some really great companies in the marketplace, like similar to ourselves, that will fund cars and buy cars with their own money. But I think be very wary of SOR companies when you are thinking of selling your cars. I mean, you know, they'll promise you the world. They'll do it for a very, very small fee. They don't mind in overvaluing or putting the car on maybe at an unrealistic value. So do bear all this in mind if you are ever thinking of selling your supercar or prestigious car, because, you know, we do work to margins. If we are going to make you a bid on the car, it is going to be a trade bid. We are going to need to leave ourselves some kind of margin in the car for us to earn a profit. We obviously have huge overhead, especially being here in central London. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about that and say, you know, it is something to bear in mind. I think the SOR companies out there, unfortunately, are ruining the marketplace for a lot of really, really good car dealers like ourselves that do fund things with their own money. And I think you can look at their websites and they've got these amazing cars, but in theory, do they own any of the cars? No. So be very wary of that when you are thinking of selling. So that's another thing. But if you are looking to get into this industry, it's a great industry. It's a lot of fun. Like I said previously, we get to play and see all the latest cars out and all the older cars and all the cars I love. And, you know, I'm very blessed to have driven a lot of the cars in my life that I've always wanted to drive and really, really like. So it is a great industry to be in. So I hope the video wasn't too long and boring for you, but we've got some really good video coming soon and some good content in the future. So look out for that. Please check out our website. We've got all our listed cars there. So if you are looking to buy or to sell a car, please give me a call down at Mayfair Prestige, and see you again soon. Fish and chips? Nah, I've had bad stomach. I don't. Marcy, all right, get me fish and chips. Do you want money? Here, Zim. Okay guys, so I hope the video wasn't too long and boring for you, but we've got some really good video coming soon.